Tushashindwa usoke sake tukimbia ukiendelea kufia Mungu. Watu wanaisha sana, ona damu yapata na mwangika. Chisekedi iko kwake anaikala nafasi, mlazima situko naisha tutoke sake tukimbia. Ona nzi watu wanakufa damu yapata. Tuwaki tumukilio ya hivi tutie tu mikono tushashindwa. Wasikala tabeba wabebe. Tushashindwa si. Watu wanaisha sana, tumetoka sake maiti ngapi zimekufa, watu wangapi wameumia. Tupigie badala watu wakufe hivi hapana, tumeshashindwa si. Tuitike tu tushashindwa, watu wamekufa hivi hapana. Tumeshindwa, tuitike tu tumeshindwa, watu wamekufa hivi, ona damu yapata na mwangika. Tumetoka sake damu ngapi zishamwangika. Hapana, tushashindwa hapa, tuamue tu tumeshindwa. Chisekedi atufanyie basi vya mara, wasiturudishe hata kwa kila mtu akufia kumlango wake. Hatutaweza hivi, tunabakia Musaki, tunabakia Mwiungangi, hakuna watu leje kitu tena tukufe hivi. Aturudishe kila mtu kunyumba yake, wakukufa akufe kata kufia kwao. Mimi nimekufia kwao, utakufia Mubashe, utake mnyumba kwake kufia Mubashe. Ona damu yapata inamwangika hapa tena saa hii.
It's very sad, you know. This is coming from Congo. And then for how long are we going to continue to talk about the atrocities going on, the genocide going on in Congo? What can we do to bring an end to that? You know, the people who are committing these crimes, this genocide, for them, they don't care how much we cry. We can cry as much as we can. For them, that is not their business. They don't even see us to be human beings. So it is we, the children of Congo, we have to take a decisive decisions and then take the destiny of Congo into our own hands. Because if we're going to sit down and wait for the United Nations, for the African Union, for whoever, the European Union, to come and then free Congo, then Congo is never going to be free. So it is not about doing good interviews, speaking good French.
It's known and we don't get sanctioned.
The mines that are on your land, which are very visibly used via Rwanda and commercially by Apple, it's a complaint that you, the Congolese state, have lodged, isn't it? What exactly does Apple do? Explain to us, according to you, what it is doing.
They make phones. You probably have an Apple phone.
Does that mean that in the iPhone that we own, there is blood of Congolese victims? And you are sure of that?
Certain. It's documented.
Are Apple's people aware of this?
It's documented.
Are Apple's people aware of this?
Apple's people, these are the investigations that will prove it. But Apple's people say that they buy their own products. However, we know that in Rwanda, there is not even 1 gram of the most prized 3T minerals that are intended for the manufacture of these technologies. So that means that these minerals come from somewhere. And today it has been proven that they come from the RDC. They arrive in Rwanda. There are NGOs that are accomplices with the Rwandan regime that simply begin the verification on the place of storage and not the place of origin of these products. That is to say, the Congolese mines in which we access after having violently massacred the Congolese.
It is about taking decisive decisions. And I'm saying that to the president of Congo. You know, join the Sahel movement. Do the same thing as they are doing. Forget about the Western world. The West is the reason why Congo is bleeding like this. Forget about the United Nations. The United Nations is part of the problems in Congo. And even forget about the African Union. Go into partnership with countries who are sincere. And I'm talking about Russia in particular. If you want to see a free Congo, then go into partnership with Russia. What Russia is doing in the Sahel today is bringing peace to the people, to the citizens of the Sahel. And Russia can do the same thing for Congo. And then history will tell us that Patrice Lumumba, the reason why he was assassinated, the reason why he was unalive is because he was looking for solutions to the problems of Congo. It was our own that betrayed him. And today it is our own people who are betraying Congo. If the solution, if we are to have solution to the problems in Congo, then Mr. President, the President of Congo, you have to be bold. First of all, let us fight corruption in our system as Congolese. Because as our people are bleeding, some people are pouring champagne, some people are drinking champagne. And these are Congolese officials. So if we really want, or if we really mean business as the leadership in the Sahel, we have to go into partnership with Russia. Russia will give us the solution. If not, these Western criminals whom we are worshiping, watch this video.
Dan Gertler is a 38-year-old Israeli billionaire who's one of the biggest investors here in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Dan Gertler first came here in 1997 at the height of a war that killed millions and millions of people, and he came to invest in diamonds. And since then he's expanded his business empire to include copper and cobalt. Congo is one of the richest countries in the world in terms of natural resources, and Dan Gertler is the biggest player here. He has his fingers in almost every single piece of the pie in Congo.
Dan Gertler basically started off as a diamond trader. He's the grandson of the founder of Israel's Diamond Exchange. He comes from a very wealthy family. He flew around the world trading rough diamonds and quickly made a fortune. He claims that by the age of 23, he had a turnover of $2 billion a year. He invested that money mainly in Congo, and by buying up different mines and by either developing them himself or selling them on to other partners. And usually it's been the latter. The allegation has been that other companies are paying to develop mines that he owns, so he's kind of getting a free ride. This is something he denies.
Dan Gertler is incredibly private. You never see him out in Congo or in Tel Aviv. He spends a lot of time with his family. He's very religious. He loves business. He gets up at 4 o'clock in the morning to study the Bible, and then it's business all day. He's always flying back and forth between Congo and Tel Aviv. He doesn't have hobbies. He is constantly checking his BlackBerry. He's constantly involved in wheeling and dealing.
In Israel, he's very big into charity. He supports a lot of organizations, hospitals, orphanages, a lot of religious institutions.
He prays 3 times a day. He's strictly kosher. He spends 5 days in the Congo every week, and then he makes sure to be back Friday afternoon for the Sabbath.
He's a personal friend of President Joseph Kabila. The controversy surrounding him is whether this friendship to...
It's a very old video, but I'm told this is what's the name? Israeli businessman. He will do this to us and go back to... He's a very religious person, according to what they say. So he will do this to our people and go back to Israel to go and pray to his God. And the other day, I was traveling. I was in Belgium. And I saw a lot of Congolese, men and women, and some people, and some other few people from Cameroon. They were traveling to Israel for a pilgrimage. So we all worship the same God. And yet, that God we all worship cannot bring peace to Congo. We all worship the same Israelis God. I don't want to go there. And yet that God cannot give us peace. And then citizens of Israel, businessmen in Israel will come to Congo, give our people ammunitions to continue to destabilize the Congo. And after that, they will fly back to their countries to worship their God. And then we will follow them to worship the same God. Africans. the psychological damage that King Leopold and his missionaries did to us must be stopped. We must
to colonial missionaries, 1883. Reverends, fathers, and dear compatriots, the task that is given to fulfill is very delicate and requires much tact. You will go certainly to evangelize, but your evangelization must inspire above all Belgium interests. Your principal objective in our mission in the Congo is never to teach the niggers to know God. This they know already. They speak and submit to a Mungu, one Nzambi, one Nzakomba, and what else I don't know. They know that to kill, to sleep with someone else's wife, to lie and to insult is bad. Have courage to admit it. You are not going to teach them what they know already. Your essential role is to facilitate the task of administrators and industrials, which means you will go to interpret the gospel in the way it will be the best to protect your interests in that part of the world. For these things, you have to keep watch on disinteresting our savages from the richness that is plenty in their underground. To avoid that, they get interested in it and make you murderous competition and dream one day to overthrow you. Your knowledge of the gospel will allow you to find texts ordering and encouraging your followers to love poverty, like, happier are the poor because they will inherit the heaven, and it's very difficult for the rich to enter the kingdom of God. You have to detach from them and make them disrespect everything which gives courage to affront us. I make reference to their mystic system and their war fetish warfare protection, which they pretend not to want to abandon, and you must do everything in your power to make it disappear. Your action will be directed essentially to the younger ones, for they won't revolt when the recommendation of the priest is contradictory to their parents' teachings. The children have to learn to obey what the missionary recommends, who is the father of their soul. You must singularly insist on their total submission and obedience. Avoid developing the spirit in the schools. Teach students to read and not to reason. There, dear patriots, are some of the principles that you must apply. You will find many other books which will be given to you at the end of this conference. Evangelize the niggers so that they stay forever in submission to the white colonialists, so they never revolt against the restraints they are undergoing. Recite every day. Happy are those who are weeping because the kingdom of God is for them. Convert always the blacks by using the whip. Keep their women in 9 months of submission to work freely for us. Force them to pay you in sign of recognition goats, chicken, or eggs every time you visit their villages. And make sure that niggers never become rich. Sing every day that it's impossible for the rich to enter heaven. Make them
do that. How many Congolese know or have ever read the letter by King Leopold? How many of us, as children of Congo, if we do, then we wouldn't be traveling to Israel to worship their God, the same God that is helping the Israelis or the Westerners to do what they are doing to us as children of Congo. It is very unfortunate that in this 21st century, we haven't still woken up to the realization that we, the children of Congo, the destiny of Congo is in our hands. I pray that one day, sooner or later,